Energy Department, led by the Great Reset minion Jennifer Granholm, announced the sale of 950,000 strategic petroleum reserve barrels to Unipec, or Sinopec, which is wholly owned by the Chinese government. As of last month, more than 5 million barrels of oil were released from the U.S. emergency reserves. At least one of those shipments of American crude went to China, according to Reuters. In 2015, a private equity firm co-founded by Hunter Biden, Bohai Harvest, RST, previously owned a stake in the Sinopec marketing, valued at $1.7 million. While Americans plummet headlong into a recession and gas prices double, the Biden family is selling off our assets. This is high treason.
Today, President Biden announced a plan to release 1 million barrels of oil a day for the next 180 days from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. It is the largest release since its creation.
How long is it fair to expect American drivers and drivers around the world to pay that premium for this?
As long as it takes. And in addition to getting other nations to move forward, a total of 240 million barrels of oil to release from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
At 1 million barrels per day, that is the largest release in U.S. history, and it amounts to roughly a third of the reserve's current supply.
We are living in a present when the enormity of Joe Biden's treason is finally coming to light, even to those who refuse to see his central role in Klaus Schwab's Great Reset.
But the greatest threat on this front springs from the distinct illiberal and external actors who equate their success with fracturing the liberal international order.
To limit global warming, you are demanding to halt to coal, oil, and gas exploration, to the development and to the financing of this exploration. As well, you are asking firms to replace any corporate board directors who is unwilling to transition to cleaner energy sources.
And when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place that, God willing, when it's over, will be stronger and the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over.
And as food and energy are systematically dismantled, and as China and India siphon off American fuel reserves, while American inflation is at a historic high, Biden has already signed off $54 billion in taxpayer dollars to his corrupt partners, along with a laundry list of military aid.
Based on our investigative unit's reporting, the U.S. Attorney in Delaware has been probing a number of issues. They include tax fraud, tax evasion, money laundering, as well as whether Hunter James Biden and their business associates complied with foreign lobbying laws.
The sooner Americans comprehend that heavily compromised Joe Biden is merely the puppet of New World Order globalist sabotage to destroy the United States, the sooner we can salvage what is left of our borders, our military, our elections, our economy, our energy, our schools, our farmland, and our future.
Tomorrow, President Obama unveils tough new regulations to combat climate change, including unprecedented cuts on carbon pollution.
At the heart of his plan, coal-fired power plants. If somebody wants to build a coal-powered plant, they can. It's just that it will bankrupt them because they're going to be charged a huge sum for all that greenhouse gas that's being emitted.
Would you close down the oil? By the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would transition. It is a big statement because I would stop.
Why would you do that?
Because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
And here's the deal. But
that's a big statement.
Well, if you let me finish the statement, because it has to be replaced by renewable energy.
Basically, what he's saying is he is going to destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me give you 10 seconds to respond, and then I have to get to the final question. Vice President Biden.
He takes everything out of context, but the point is, look, we have to move toward a net zero emissions. I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, one of which is doing away with any subsidies for fossil fuels, number one. Number two, holding them liable for what they have done. We will double offshore wind. We will end any subsidies for coal or any other fossil fuel.
If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Didn't they say get rid of your car?
It is absolutely imperative and a life and death issue that we have got to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to sustainable energy.
If these far-left politicians ever get into power, they will demolish the entire U.S. economy.
On his first day in office, President Biden signed an executive order revoking the permit of the Keystone XL oil pipeline.
You may have noticed this week that your gas prices have gone up. I want to talk to you a little bit about why. A lot of it has to do with, but part of this is on the oil companies. Right now, there are 9,000 approved unused permits that oil and gas companies could tap into now to ramp up production.
Gas prices at a 7-year high in one California town, now topping $7 a gallon, and unfortunately there is no relief in sight.
They're sitting at a 7-year high and expected to continue to climb.
Gas prices are soaring with little end in sight.
Gas prices reach all-time highs under Joe Biden.
Today, the average gas price in America hit an all-time record high of over $4 per gallon. I'm willing to pay $4 a gallon. I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Would that I had the magic wand.
Every time I fill up, it's close to like $89.
How do you feel about that?
It's making me broke.
Oh my God.
If I'm not making a certain goal for the night, I don't have enough for gas tomorrow, and then I have to eat into my own general family budget to put gas in my car for this job.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's hard to make plans when you've got an administration that's trying to crush your future.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Perhaps if you let the market work in this respect, people will feel pain. They'll take a second look at that Ford F-450 gigantoid truck. They'll reconsider a Tesla. You'll see hybrid innovation.
We should ultimately learn our lesson here and become energy independent and choose to invest in clean domestic energy.
You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels within 12 years.
That is the goal. It's ambitious. And
how is that possible? You're talking about everybody having to drive an electric car?